Hey everybody, it's Colby the DGI Crab here, and today I'm not in a great mood. So got this company here that a lot of you have probably watched some YouTube coverage on because there's a lot of shameless YouTubers, as far as I'm concerned, out there pushing it, and I'm going to give you my opinion on this particular company. You already know what it is. You can see it there on the screen behind me. But before I even breathe their name onto my YouTube channel, I will say that the opinions I'm about to express in this video are not financial advice. They are just my honest opinions. So don't do anything because I said to do it or not to do it, all right? I'm not a licensed pro, but I am here to give you my honest opinions. I'm here to share my strategy that I utilize for investing, and I try to keep things positive around here because I think that investing is exciting, particularly dividend growth investing is exciting. Acquiring steady and increasing passive income at bargain basement prices is a lot of fun. And I think that the more people that know about it, who become comfortable with it, can go a long way towards pulling themselves up into a different economic class, more or less, just by simply paying attention to a few things and putting their money in things that have proven track records to generate cash flow, almost entirely cash free cash flow at that. So, what is this company that's got me all riled up? Well, as you can see here, it is this company called YieldMax. For those of you with the good fortune to not know what this company is, what they do is they generate monthly income. We'll just read it here. They generate monthly income by pursuing options-based strategies on one or more of the underlying securities. YieldMax ETFs aim to harvest compelling yields from assets that are not typically associated with monthly income. The funds do not directly invest in the underlying stock or ETFs. You see stuff like this, Coney. It's an ETF where they're writing poor man's covered calls on just one stock, Coinbase, and they have these massive yields. They write them on Disney, they write them on Tesla, they write them on all kinds of different things. You can see here. Here's a list. You've got Facebook and Square and Nvidia, Netflix, Microsoft. All of these different ETFs. Tesla, as it's typically called on the internet, at times is yielding as high as 87%. A lot of their ETFs have these super high yields that are paid out monthly on these options. Now, if you click on any of these ETFs and look at the description, they're forthcoming. They do say investing in the fund involves a high degree of risk. So they're forthcoming about it. But you know who's not? Bunch of these YouTube hucksters that start channels talking about how they're collecting all of this crazy money that on these ridiculously high yields, and they're getting rich and generating all of this cash flow and this, that, and the other thing. And a lot of channels like my own and other quality channels out there, like your Ryan Williams, your Dividend Diplomats, your Dividend Bull, Dividend Stockpile. There's all of these great channels out there with varying strategies, but they're all basically about acquiring good quality yield for your cash flow. My channel, well, if you've been here since I started a couple of months ago, or you're just now getting here now, is about acquiring cash flow based on your age. And I think that young people should be acquiring things that may not be yielding a ton right now, but have a long track record of increasing their dividends aggressively over the long haul. And that older folks who need the immediate income now need to get higher yield stuff. I wouldn't tell anyone, no matter the age, no matter what it is, to touch any of this trash, because this company is the closest thing to a frickin' pyramid scheme that I can find on the entire stock market. Now, I was going to put together this spreadsheet and go and backtest all of this garbage just to prove my point. And you know what? This guy over here on YouTube, his name is Raj V. Raj V the other day went ahead and did it for me. Well, he didn't do it for me. He did it for his own channel. Go look at Raj V's channel. It's not a huge channel, bigger than mine, certainly, but his videos are about generating a lot of passive income. He went and back tested all of these ETFs. Now, this is only a 5.5 minute long video. Go to Raj's channel. I'll link to it in the description below so you can just pop right over there to it and see for yourself. But I'm going to spoil the ending here for you. He back tested all of these funds by assuming that you put $100 into them at the date of their inception. These things haven't been around for very long either, just by the way. And what he found out was they're not any freaking good, all right? There's very few of them that wound up in the green. Very, very few indeed. Most of them lost money, notably Tesla, one of the most popular ones. Value of it has been almost cut in half. Well, why? It's yielding 80%. How could it possibly be cut in half? Well, when high-yielding things like this, commonly referred to by dividend growth stock investors as yield traps, have these ridiculous, high-risk, unsustainable yields, what do? They either cut their dividend drastically and or they perform a reverse stock split. What is that? It means that they reduce the amount of shares you have to pump the stock up. So say you have 5 shares of a stock that's valued at $20 a share. And then the stupid thing, drops all the way down to $10 a share. Then they perform a 2-for-1 reverse split to get their stock back up to $20 a share by cutting in half the amount of shares that are available. So now, congratulations, now you have 2.5 shares valued at $20 a share. Your money's been cut in half one way or the other, and that's what happens with these things. Tesla has already had a reverse split. I don't see a ton of these YouTube channels talking about that. I just see a bunch of people that started up a freaking YouTube channel dedicated to talking about this garbage. They get a bunch of subscribers because there's people out there in the middle class who want to find a way to generate a bunch of cash flow quickly because they don't have tens of thousands of dollars to go put into the market right now. They have to do it little bit at a time. And damn it, they get excited when they think that they can generate 60, 70, 80% cash flow yield on their money. And I don't blame them. Of course they do. But there's the old phrase, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Well, that's exactly what these are. They're too good to be true. Let's talk about just Tesla for a moment here. No, actually, we're not going to talk about Tesla. We're going to talk about NVIDIA. All right, the one that's written on NVIDIA. That one is actually profitable. You'll see here it's up to $132, which is up 32% with inception, and it's been pumping out a big old fat yield. Great. So let's talk about the difference here. There's NVIDIA. We'll go verify this right now here on Seeking Alpha, right? Big dividend yield, 70%. Too good to be true, if you ask me. Since inception, which was in May 8th, 2023, share price is up 24%, and you've gotten a lot of yield. If you invested in this from day one, all right, you've gotten an appreciating share price. You've gotten quite a bit of yield. Awesome. Good for you. You picked the right one. Out of a pile of crap, you picked the one that actually isn't terrible. But, what would have happened if you had just put your $100 or however much you had into actual NVIDIA stock as opposed to this? We'll zoom out to the 5-year. We'll get as close here to May 8th as we can. May 8th, $29.15 a share is what you could have just bought Nvidia stock for at the time. All right. That's now up to $122.86. You almost 5x'd your money. And also, if you weren't selling it, you didn't pay any taxes on it because you don't pay taxes on the gains unless you sell. You paid taxes on all those dividends that Nvidia dished out to you. So would you rather just put your money into something that grows faster than this trash grows, tax-free? Or would you rather just put your money in this thing because you're getting the monthly high yield on it because it feels good? All right? Feels good is crap if it doesn't perform well. All right? I have been at this YouTube game for a short amount of time. I'm not in this for the money. I'm not in it for the money. I would love for my channel to get monetized eventually, but why? Because that means that I've got more than 1,000 subscribers that are watching the videos. That means more to me than whatever piddly little check that Google's going to write to me because I've got 1,000 subs or 3,000 subs or even 20,000 subs. All right? Great if I can make it. Not why I'm doing it. I want to try to share the freaking good news about dividend growth stock investing because this is the most safe, stable, secure way for somebody in the middle class to climb the rung and actually get a piece of the pie for themselves. Actually start generating cash flow that they can depend on. Actually retire off of it and not have to go back to work 18 months later because they were invested in a bunch of crap that cut its dividend and did reverse stock splits all of a sudden. And you go from yielding 50% or $50,000 to now yielding 16 because all you had was a bunch of YieldMax funds and a pile of Shiba Inu coin. All right? That's not the way to get a bunch of money fast. You might as well just go into the casino and start putting a quarter of your life savings on black on the roulette wheel and hope for the best. Because you can generate a lot of money really fast that way too, even faster than YieldMax. They're called poor man's covered calls for a reason. It's because they're for poor people who don't know any better, all right? And I'm not trying to be elitist here. I'm not some multi-millionaire sticking my nose up at middle-class people. I'm trying to help. Trying to help. I'm not trying to generate a bunch of clicks on Facebook by churning out garbage for people because they think that high yield is exciting and that's the way to get subs. All right? Freaking hucksters. Sorry, but I'm very upset about this. And dividend growth investors on YouTube, you're nice guys, all right? You're nice guys. Dividend diplomats, Bert and Lanny, nice guys. Ryan Williams seems like a real sweetheart of a guy, all right? Russ Knopp, all these guys, nice guys. So when these funds get brought up by people in their live streams or when they're talking about them, they say, I don't really like them. I'm going to call it for what it is right now because I'm the freaking crab and I'll call it like it is. They're garbage. They're trash. You know who doesn't invest in them? Rich people. Rich people don't invest in this garbage, all right? You think Warren Buffett is going to sit there and say, I can just make an 80% yield. I'll just put everything in that and make 80% every year. No, doesn't touch it. None of the smart, intelligent, well-studied, super successful investors out there, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, all right? But the people out there with the real money, they don't touch this crap, all right? And then, I wanted to give Raj V, his props here. I made a little comment on his channel, just said, hey, thank you so much. You saved me hours of research. I didn't have to go do this myself. I gave you a sub, just as the least that I could do. Right. And I mean, a lot of the people here kind of agreed that these things are trash. But then you get attitudes like this where it's like, let me guess your favorite fund is SCHD. Yeah, SCHD is pretty cool because it's not lighting your freaking money on fire, whoever you are. Probably somebody who's mad because they're down a bunch of money because they invested in this trash and they're feeling sensitive about it. And I hope to see a bunch of hater comments in the comments. Leave some hater comments down there, all right? And I hope that you don't lose your ass on these funds. Hate me all you want, and I hope you get your money out of them because the only people that are making money off of these are the people who have jumped in and out and gotten lucky with the timing and YieldMax themselves. The 60 stocks I cover on this channel, not one of them cut their dividend in the COVID crisis. Not one of these YieldMax things have even seen an economic downturn yet. And that's all I've got to say. See you next time.